Hi everyone, I'm Jessica James Stutzman and welcome back to the Millcreek Government Channel. The Flagship Niagara League is a nonprofit associate organization of the Erie Maritime Museum and the U.S. Brig Niagara. In partnership with the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission, this organization facilitates citizen participation in our Commonwealth's official flagship, the U.S. Brig Niagara, and oversees her sailing schedule and operation. Sailing the past into the future with us today is Linda Bola and Christy Cook. Linda is the museum curatorial assistant, while Christy is the marketing and development coordinator for the Flagship Niagara League. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I really appreciate it. I know you guys are super busy this week, getting ready for tall ships, doing all of your other fundraisers, but thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Well, I just want to jump right in because I know that our guests really want to talk about the tall ships, and so do I. But kind of starting from the very beginning, tell us, what is the historical significance of the U.S. Brig Niagara?
Well, people in Erie know that the U.S. Brig Niagara is Oliver Hazard Perry's relief flagship in the Battle of Lake Erie. When his flagship, the Lawrence, became so decimated, with almost an 80% casualty rate among the men, he was lucky enough, plucky enough, and had the wits to transfer his battle flag from the Lawrence to Niagara. Now, this was no easy thing. This took a great deal of courage to row in an open boat while the battle raged around you, to go to Niagara, who was relatively unscathed during the beginning of the battle. He was able to sail Niagara, put her back to use in the battle, and win the day. It's significant because this is the first time in history that the British Navy has ever been defeated in a squadron action. It was a very important psychological boost to our young country because we hadn't been doing very well in the land engagements during the War of 1812. So historically, people remember some of the iconic images and phrases from the battle, especially "Don't give up the ship." And I don't know that everyone in Erie knows that that battle flag was made by women in Erie. We have a Pennsylvania state marker that honors the women behind the museum near Niagara. And I think it's an important part of our heritage to remember that these ladies who could have fled because Erie was under threat during the War of 1812, since the shipyards were here. The British could have come by land or water, and these ladies remained steadfast to their task and created what now is one of the most iconic mottos in the U.S. Navy.
And I'm glad you brought that up, that this is a motto of the U.S. Navy and a flag of the U.S. Navy. I don't know if people realize that anymore. You know, I think it has taken on don't give up the ship, has kind of taken on a life of its own. And I know we fly the flag outside my home, but I've seen it all the way down in Florida. I've seen people flying the flag, which I did not know, actually got its roots here in Erie. So that's amazing. And then there's also the famous saying, "We've met the enemy and they are ours."
And of course, that comes from a correspondence announcing victory that Perry wrote to William Henry Harrison. He wrote back to let people know that he had won the day.
You are a wealth of knowledge, so I appreciate you coming on the show today. If viewers wanted to dive in a little bit deeper into Erie Maritime history, where could they find additional information on the Battle of Lake Erie, or even some artifacts from the war?
Well, first of all, we'd want to invite them to come down to the museum. In the summer in particular, we're open 7 days a week, on Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, Sunday, noon to 5. We have docents who will offer you answers to all of those questions, guide you through the museum if you'd like. When Niagara's in port, of course, she's our star exhibit, and docents will give a guided tour of the brig. But there's so much more to Erie Maritime history. The Niagara and the War of 1812 are a beginning. Our building itself is historic. This is a former Penelec power generating station that's been adaptive reuse. It used to be a brownfield because of the industry in the area. It was cleaned up, and we couldn't have built a more perfect building for what we want to do. When you come into the museum, you see a little bit of that Penelec heritage. We set the scene for the War of 1812. We have a number of videos that will help orient you to the story if you need to make a quick visit. But what's really spectacular, and it's not done anywhere else in the world, is our fighting gun deck. The deck itself was taken, bulwarks built to specifications, the very same as Niagara herself. And then we took her out and fired on her with the same types of shot, weight that the British used on Lawrence. And so the exhibit represents the Lawrence in the height of the battle. You have an opportunity to see the kind of damage inflicted by naval artillery. You have an opportunity really to feel and sense just the kind of danger that the crew was exposed to. So alongside that deck, we have many hands-on exhibits and opportunities for visitors too. When we have school tours in, we like to take students and run them through naval gunnery drills the same way they would have 200 years ago, because we have a gun deck that's equipped to do that. We also have a magnificent fighting sail, and not only can students during the school year learn a little bit about the maneuvers and the teamwork necessary to sail, over the winter, on many Saturdays, visitors can come in and see Niagara's current sailing crew doing a little bit of aloft training. So we utilize that sail in a number of different ways. Students can come and learn how to tie knots. Families can come in and see some of the tools that are used to build our Niagara and ships of that era. Now we have a number of other things. It's Erie's other ship. The USS Michigan. Most people here have a grandparent that was around during the Wolverine era when the ship was renamed and part of the naval militia for Pennsylvania. But Wolverine, many sailors came through. During the 19th century, you see the junior officers are a who's who of the Navy. They go on to brilliant careers. Erie's known as the mother-in-law of the U.S. Navy, and the USS Michigan is a great deal of that. Sailors came to Erie, they served on this vessel, and in the winters were just the same then as they are now. Ships didn't move very much in the winter. These men met Erie people. They fell in love with beautiful Erie women. They made their homes here, and thus the mother-in-law of the Navy. Erie can boast 10 admirals among her population. There are no other cities that can say that. We have 9 U.S. Navy admirals and 1 U.S. Coast Guard admiral, 1 in the Navy and 1 in the Coast Guard currently serving. So there's a great deal more to Erie's maritime history than just the War of 1812. We cover a lot of different things in the second floor and the galleries. You can come in and learn about lighthouses, the life-saving services. You can come in on Thursday afternoons and watch our artist in residence, model makers who create models and repair models for the museum. There's many more things to see. We feature temporary exhibits, often art or related to ecology as well.
So much, much more.
That's amazing. I love, sitting here and listening to you, and I've got to make a trip down because I know that I've been wanting to do it for years, and I haven't been able to make it down, and I know I'm going to. And actually, I might be doing it during the Tall Ships Festival week because it'll be right down there and easy to access. So
Perfect.
You did tell us the days and times the museum was open. How about prices? What does it cost for someone to walk through the museum?
Well, first of all, I'll preface this with we have a number of discounts available, so see us at the door for those. But an adult admission is $10, children are $5, children under 3 are free.
Sure, okay.
Be aware we have, of course, we honor a lot of the AAA discounts. There's a senior discount. There's a multitude of discounts. And if you're visiting as a family and you're local and have a library card, every Erie County library makes available a family pass that you can check out and visit for free.
Oh, beautiful. I did not know that. See, you learn something new every day. And I have to ask, I was on your website and I was reading about some of the exhibits. And can you touch on just a tiny bit, and I know you talked about all your exhibits, but can you tell me who Joe Dibble was?
Oh, Joe Dibble.
Dibble.
The
Oh my
Dibble.
gosh. Yes,
Well,
can you
think
tell me?
Diver and Dibble.
Diver and Dibble. And that's what I saw as, his image was the iconic old-fashioned scuba helmet. So can you tell us a little bit about him too?
Well, he precedes scuba. He's an old-fashioned diving helmet. The one of his we have on exhibit looks just like the kind of thing you see in an aquarium. It's that old. It's early 20th century. Joe Dibble was a character who worked along the bayfront, and he did salvage. There's whispers that he might have been involved in a little bit of rum running during the 20s. We have his diving equipment loaned by his family, available for visitors to see. It's very interesting to see how local people made careers on the waterfront like this. There's just so many different facets of waterfront history you can see.
Mm-hmm. I'm right in the middle of reading 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, so I imagine, that it could be similar. So I'm going to have to pop down and read up on Joe Dibble. And then what other types of educational programs do you guys offer to the community? Are they just seasonal, summer, spring, fall months, or do you have things going on year-round?
Well, it's pretty much year-round. Of course, during the fall and spring, it's our heaviest school tour season. Classrooms in Erie utilize the facilities at the museum to enhance what the students are learning in the classroom. So, of course, the War of 1812. We also have a number of hands-on programs, though. One of my favorites are what we offer to Scouts in Erie. And these are available to both Boy and Girl Scouts. We offer them opportunities to learn how to tie all of those sailors' knots and do it correctly. These are activities that are eligible for badges, and within the Boy and Girl Scout organizations. We have a new program in development now for Girl Scouts, where we're helping them earn their history badge, and they'll have an opportunity to visit the museum and look at life at home, the kinds of experiences women and young women would have had 200 years ago in reference to what was going on in Erie with the battle. So these are all wonderful programs. We offer a curriculum to teachers to help students prepare for their visit to the museum. We have a wonderful maritime curriculum focusing on the War of 1812, but lots of hands-on and activities available too. So they're wonderful resources. And anyone who is interested in more of these can contact us at the museum. We have a number of internet resources we can also refer to that are offered by other maritime museums or educational organizations. They're great resources that the internet makes possible now, and it's a different classroom than when we grew up, certainly.
That's so true. And, just even getting on and to, research your organization, I found out, so many good pieces of history, or also, some things you guys are doing. And I also found out that you guys have a gift shop next to the museum. And what are the hours of operation? What can we find there? What are some unique gifts? Maybe, for Christmas, I'm thinking about it a little early, but what can I find there?
Oh, we have a lot of things at our gift shop, actually. T-shirts, a lot of clothing items, actually some really great prints that we have of the ship sailing on the lake, everything. Jewelry, books, there's a bunch of things that you can find in there. It's really, really, I would encourage anybody to really stop down and kind of take a look, because there's something new in every single corner you find. So.
And it's right down at the bottom first floor of Blasco Library, correct? The gift shop and the museum. And what are the hours of operation for the gift shop?
They're the same as the museum itself. Okay. So you enter for the museum through the gift shop anyways. We do need to note there's a number of local artists who have work on consignment in our museum shop. If you're looking for beach glass jewelry, if you're looking for local art in particular, I think our museum shop excels. And of course, I have to put in a plug for wonderful books, including one written by our own senior captain, Walter Ribka. Walter's available to talk to groups along with others from the museum, but a good place to start learning about Niagara, the War of 1812, the Battle of Lake Erie, and our current Niagara and her sailing program would be Walter Ribka's book.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Thank you for that. I'll start that right after my 20,000 Leagues as soon as I get done with that one. And then obviously you guys are a nonprofit organization. So what types of funding sources do you need to, go after to, keep the Niagara sailing and keep the museum, open and in operation? Are there fundraisers or grants that you guys look for?
We actually have a lot of fundraisers going on throughout the entire year. We have a couple, aside from Tall Ships, which is our biggest, but that only comes around every 3 years. We have Mariners Ball every June, which is, aside from Tall Ships, one of our biggest fundraisers that we actually have. So we just rely on everybody in the community, a lot of our donors, sponsorships that come through for us. We have a really nice big following of people who really want to keep this ship sailing. So,
and where is the Mariners Ball? Where is that located?
It's actually located at the museum, out on the plaza, and on the ship as well.
Okay.
So there's a lot of live entertainment going on throughout the entire evening. There's a fireworks display at night, black tie event, so it's something really fun to kick off your summer with.
All dolled up and
Very
go
elegant.
hang out by the bayfront and check out some of the exhibits.
So it's
beautiful.
very fun.
What month does that happen in?
June.
June. Okay.
So we
good.
actually just finished our 6th year this past June. It was another big success, and we're excited for next year. But we also do have Wintertime at the Maritime, which is our exclusive winter. It's actually outdoors every February that we hosted on our plaza and on our ship again. So it's just kind of fun for people to come down, live entertainment, hors d'oeuvres, funky winter hat contest. So just kind of get something to get everybody outside.
Yeah, bundle up and come down in
Yes,
February.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, and then
It
do you
is
guys
so
have
worth it.
anything else going on?
We have our Golf Open in July. We have that going on. We also have a lot of family-friendly events that are actually just open to the public because we really want to get the kids down. So we have Christmas tree ship in December. So Santa and his reindeer will come down and see the kids. And we also have Discovery Day in May. So we open that up to the kids around town. Also 4th of July, we have free admission to the museum for everyone to come down too. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, we just try to get the kids to come down, see the ship when they can. It's really unique.
So our visitors need to check out your website because it sounds like you guys have something going on every few months. There's something going on
Absolutely.
year-round with you guys. So
Yes.
okay, get on the website, check out their events, and then where's the crew taking the Brig Niagara this summer and fall? Do you guys have a list of where they're going to be sailing or docking at port?
They're actually going all over the Great Lakes right now because there's actually a bunch of different Tall Ships festivals going on at a lot of different ports. So they're gone all summer right now, trying to kind of promote getting some day sales and kind of showing off our Niagara that we have here. So they actually won't be back until Tall Ships, that's starting in September. So
Wow.
yes, it's a long summer for them, but we're excited for them to come back for sure.
And how many are on the crew of the Niagara at any given time?
Well, generally, what we see are a core group of professionals, the officers. The core group is generally 18. It's augmented by seasonals who come in, and of course volunteers who are an important part of the crew. They work over the winter time, helping with Niagara's maintenance and learning as well. There's a formal program. I think I had mentioned earlier, Saturdays in January and February. Don't be surprised if you see the crew training right in the museum using the mast. So it's a variable. The complement can be as high as 40 when augmented with volunteers sailing.
Wonderful. I have never been out to sail on the Niagara. I've only, done it. I've only watched it from afar, but it is majestic on the water. I can only imagine what it would be like to actually sail on it. But folks, this is the portion of the interview where you are not going to want to turn away from. We're going to be talking about the 2016 Tall Ships Festival. It was one of the best events I attended the last time it came to town, which was 2013.
Correct.
Was that right? Okay, I had so much fun at this event. So I need to know who, what, where, when, why. I'm just going to turn it over to you guys and let our viewers know how they can attend this event, where to show up, when to show up, where to park.
Well, it actually is September 8th to the 11th. So September 8th, the ships will actually be coming in. So we're going to have a parade of sail open to the public. Everybody's welcome to come down and see them come through the channel there. Friday, September 9th, we open exclusively to Education Day. So we're trying to get, a lot of schools to come in and bring their kids down to go to the various sites and see all the ships, because it is very majestic, very unique experience for them to come down to. And a lot of the kids that came in 2013, they want to come back. So
I want to come back. It was amazing. I was there for the parade of the ships coming through. I was actually on the water on a boat, but it is a spectacular view from any angle.
It absolutely is. And we actually have 10 confirmed ships right now. We have 3 sail-away vessels and 7 ships that you can actually go ahead and board. The crews will be giving tours throughout the entire festival weekend. We have live entertainment. It's actually going to be at the Convention Center, Dobbins Landing, as well as our Erie Maritime Museum. So we're going to have the kids zone, everything like that's going to be open to the public and everybody who wants to come down. So
perfect. And then you've got children's activities. I remember there was a festival marketplace with food vendors, a beer garden going on. Do you want to touch on any of when that's going to happen throughout the weekend?
Oh, well, this is an important change from the last time we had Tall Ships in Erie. We're focusing a lot on family-friendly zones this year. The Friday Education Day, of course, is going to be school tours exclusively. During the school day on Friday, we don't open to the public at all. There are a number of activities, though, that school students enjoy that we really felt were also family-friendly. So we have everything from demonstrations of skills that are 200 years old. We have a cooper coming to make barrels. We have, and this is out of Mystic Seaport Museum, there will be a blacksmith coming and demonstrating some of the very basic skills. We have an absolutely wonderful gentleman coming in from Canada who does a display, Life of a British Sailor. He dresses out in Royal Navy uniform, and he talks about and shares a number of artifacts he has, replicas that families can handle gently, and he talks about life in the Navy 200 years ago. Augmenting that on the museum floor. Remember, we talked about those life-size cannon and sails. Our own ship's company from the museum will be demonstrating naval gun drills and sail handling on the museum floor, and we love to have the public participate in these. So they're an opportunity to get a little hands-on. We have the Science Alliance this year working with Pennsylvania Sea Grant and a number of the other science-based educational groups in Erie, instead of just being on our plaza Friday for our school students, we're going to have them available right through the weekend for family learning. These are wonderful demonstrations. In the past, we've had underwater robotics. We've had a water table. Great stuff. We have lectures going on for people that maybe want to sit down a minute in a little air conditioning and learn something. They will focus on shipwrecks this year thematically. And just tremendous things going on for families that are fun and a little educational too.
And I see we've got, I don't want to forget about this, but we have the big yellow duck showing up
Yes.
at the Tall Ships Festival.
The world's largest rubber duck will be here.
So bring
that
your-
is going to be back at the convention center with all the rest
So
of
bring
the
your
ships.
iPhone down, bring your camera down, get a picture with the rubber ducky. And we actually just have only a few minutes left here for our show. So repeat one more time the day and time so everybody can make it down.
So September 8th through the 11th. It's open the festival weekend. So open to the public Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 5, 10 to 6. So.
Sure, perfect. You guys are going to love this, I know it. And just very, very briefly, I know you also have a Dobbins duck race coming up too. Do you want to just list off the day and time and where people should show up for that?
Yes, September 4th, it's actually at the plaza, at the museum. We're going to be starting to sell some quackers going around town so we can have everything kind of tie up to kick off the week for Tall Ships. So
That's wonderful. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today. I know you're very busy getting ready for Tall Ships, all of those 10 majestic ships coming through. Viewers, you are definitely going to want to make it down to the Tall Ships Festival. You can, we're going to put on the screen here their email addresses, phone number, website, and Facebook page if you have any questions for the Flagship Niagara League. But I am telling you, you're not going to want to miss Tall Ships this year, and also make it down to their Dobbins duck race. Until next time, have a wonderful day.
You're watching the Millcreek Government Channel, powered by WQLN Public Media.